Okay, we are beginning the recording. As I have said in several emails, we are definitely recording this for people to watch later. The only thing about watching these later is that you don't get a chance to interact with the people who we have invited to offer you a business opportunity, which is QuickChek. And I certainly want to welcome everybody here and thank you for coming, as well as welcoming the QuickChek team and thanking them for taking time out of their day for the veterans and all the things that you do for our veterans. That's you guys are a wonderful organization. My name's Matt Baffoe with Hope for the Warriors. I am going to start the share screen application right now, which is going to begin our leadership training exercise. So without any further ado, all right. Today we are going to talk about the 5 traits of an effective leader. This is part of the PACT program with Hope for the Warriors. As you can see, you all have no doubt seen this by now. So the PACT program is part of our transition services, and it is a series of virtual classes to provide leadership training for service members, veterans, caretakers, and military families. You know, just a little bit about Hope for the Warriors. We began in Camp Lejeune in North Carolina in 2006, obviously witnessing firsthand the devastating effects that the wars had on our service members. For the past 10 years, Hope for the Warriors has been dedicated to serving those who served. We provide a full cycle of care to restore self, family, and hope to post 9/11 service members, their families, and families of the fallen. Now, that is the mission of Hope for the Warriors. However, I will tell you that in transition services, we do allow service members and veterans from other eras to participate in transition services, not just for post 9/11 warriors. I'm not going to go through every single point on this, but I do want to show you that our program focuses for transition services is to support the career, educational, and personal goals of service members, veterans, and family members as they experience the many hurdles to military transition. We have 3 basic program focuses. One is transition services, the other one is clinical health and wellness, and the other one is sports and recreation. If you are not currently a member of Hope for the Warriors team, we suggest that you get a hold of us and become part of it. These services are for every post 9/11 warrior. As you can see from the chart at the bottom here, which, by the way, I could send this out to you if you so request. But you can see from the chart at the bottom here that we are spending 84 cents on the dollar for services for our service members. We're a 5-star or 4-star rated charity on Charity Navigator. So that's a little bit about Hope for the Warriors. 2 of transition services are PACT and the A&B, which is A&B program, Above and Beyond program, which is a program for career readiness. We help service members and active duty with resume writing, translation of skills, interviewing skills. We have 4 transition fairs that we have scheduled across the country for this year, one in Dallas, one in Chicago, one in New York, and one in San Diego. Dallas is going to be in March. We have Chicago in June, San Diego in September, and New York in November. Those will be transition fairs where we focus on not only the Hope for the Warriors mission, but on all aspects of transition. Today you're taking part in our what we're calling our leadership series, which is a modular education series that we are providing online. We have had physical classes in the past, but we've moved to a virtual modular series for this year basically to test it out, see how it works. Plus, we feel that this will be easier for service members from around the country to get to, as opposed to having to go to a physical fair. Okay, we begin with the 5 traits. The first of the 5 traits, and maybe the most important, is communication. I cannot stress this enough. Every single business leader we talk to, every single article we read will tell you that communication is the number 1 trait of an effective leader. As it says, strong leaders know how to communicate effectively with staff at both higher and lower levels in the company. Understanding how to clearly explain tasks and projects to staff while communicating the importance of your department's work to administrators is a crucial skill that takes practice. Good communicators keep staff informed when changes or updates to projects occur, are readily available to staff, and hold regular meetings to ensure that all team members are aware of the status of projects. Piggybacking on that is the art of active listening. This is not a trait in itself. This is actually part of communication. These are 3 of the most important parts to active listening. As you can see from the graphic there, you have a channel, you have a message, the message goes to a receiver, the receiver gives feedback to the source. It's important, if you're the source, to listen actively, to give your attention. When someone starts to talk to you, stop what you're doing and thinking, face the person, and devote your whole attention to what and how it is being said. Utter importance there, folks. Make sure you give your attention to your employee who is speaking to you. Listen, not just hear. One of the keys to good communication is the willingness to listen for meaning in what the other person says, and not just for the words. Watch their facial expressions and body language. Don't let your mind wander. While the person is talking, do not think about your answer or response. Listen until the person is finished, then decide what you are going to say. This is the second trait of an effective leader, which is passion. As we can see, we have a very passionate guy there, Mr. Arlie Ermy. There were several quotes I could have put up there, but none of them would be family oriented. So I chose one that was pretty benign. Like he says, it's my firm conviction that when Uncle Sam calls, we go and we do the best that we can. Good leaders have a passion for the work they do and feel it is important. Sharing that passion and enthusiasm with employees can help you motivate your employees to become more productive. Praising your employees when they do a good job can be a natural extension of passion. SCORE reports that morale sinks and employees soon hate to come to work without occasional praise. I don't know if you could actually teach passion. What you can do is you can bring passion to the job, to the workplace, and then that passion will hopefully rub off on your employees. Our third trait is commitment to staff. John Mayer had a really nice quote that says, if you started doing anything 2 weeks ago, by today you would have been 2 weeks better at it. And then, of course, we see Charlie Brown, who commits to kicking that football all the time and always has it pulled out from under him. Good leaders understand that success is impossible without the help of their employees. Providing ample training opportunities for your staff and expressing your confidence in their work lets them know that you are invested in them. Strong managers avoid the urge to perform every part of a project themselves, but allow employees to make decisions, prioritize tasks, and plan projects. Leaders who are committed to their team try to ensure that all employees are treated equally and that preferential treatment is not given to a particular employee or employees. What's really important there is that you know how to delegate your authority. Those people that are your staff were hired because you had confidence in them at the time they were hired, or somebody had confidence in them at the time they were hired. Let them do their job. Team building. Team building is definitely an important an important part of being an effective leader. As you can see from the graph's a little bit tough to see, but encouraging employees to work together rather than competitively can result in higher productivity and improved morale. Encouraging a cooperative atmosphere and group problem solving will help you ensure that your department completes tasks on time without personal conflicts. Asking for input from employees regarding departmental functions and procedures can help them feel that they are an important part of your team. Finally, decisiveness. We're going to what QCAT means, and you could see the 4 words. It's exactly what it means: quick, committed, analytical, and thoughtful. Employees rely on leaders to make decisions that are quick, logical, and correct. Understanding the scope of the work your employees handle, the concerns of your supervisors, financial constraints, and any other relevant factors will enable you to make fast decisions. Entrepreneur recommends using the QCAT system when making a decision. The system suggests being quick, committed, analytical, and thoughtful when making decisions. If you are unaccustomed to making important decisions, developing a spreadsheet to evaluate drawbacks and advantages can help you focus on the issue. Well, there's a lot of things that you could take away from the 5 traits of a effective leader. This is one you should commit to memory. Obviously, making quick decisions doesn't necessarily mean you have to make them on the spot, but doing it in a timely manner is just completely essential to a good leader. The last thing you want to do as an employee is have a question, ask a supervisor or boss to give you an answer, and then not get that answer. The rest of it is kind of common sense. Obviously, you've got to be analytical and thoughtful and committed to your job, but making a decision in a timely fashion, highly important. Okay, that is the end of the presentation on the traits of an effective leader. Do we have any questions or comments? Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn over my screen, or I'm going to change my screen to QuickChek's Leadership in Training module. And then Bob, when you want, just tell me to, Bob or Heather, either one, just tell me to hit the next slide when you need.
That'll work, Matt. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to start it from the beginning now.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bob Grazak. I'm Vice President, Human Resources with QuickChek Corporation here in White House Station, New Jersey. With me is Heather Stillman. She's our corporate customer service manager, runs all the customer service programs in our company. Ann is the corporate manager for Hope for the Warriors and all of our outreach programs. Thank you for asking me to be part of this. I'm going to take a few minutes, talk about our leadership training program. We call it the LIT program. But one of the effective leadership traits is passion for the work. And I just want to talk a little bit about that. I've been in the convenience store business my entire career. I joined the Navy in 1973 and retired in 2004. Not all of it active, 4 years active, the rest as a reserve officer in the Navy. So working and the reserves was part of my life the whole time. But on the civilian side, it's only been in convenience stores. And whatever you choose to do, that passion for what you do is so important. So as you look for work, really, really find that type of work that you really love to do. And the growth in that particular work, the growth in your career will naturally happen. And you'll like what you do. The QuickChek Corporation Leadership, or the LIT program, one of the key requirements of this program is being a strong leader. QuickChek, if you want to go to the next slide, Matt. QuickChek, we're a $1 billion company. We run 142 stores in New Jersey and New York, soon to be 143 on, I think it's April 2nd. April 2nd now, our next store will open up. And about 3,800 employees. Our guiding principles all center around great customer service, total customer dedication. So we teach and we lead to really support the service model of our company. In many, many C-stores, we sell gasoline in 55 of our sites about. We were not in the gas business 12 years ago. We only had traditional convenience stores. We now have gasoline and only build gas sites. In those stores, we serve custom-made toasted subs, a lot of food, sandwiches, wraps, fresh salads that are made on site, not brought in. Our own in-store bakery, so you get a sense of leading in a food service establishment. Great coffee. If you're a coffee drinker, our coffee is to die for. And supporters, this is what I was talking about, the community outreach. Hope for the Warriors, local food banks in which we actively participate in helping the food banks, and community youth sports teams. We have over 100 kids sports teams, from football to baseball to soccer, lacrosse, that we provide some level of support, donations, or uniforms to those teams in all of our communities. So we're really embedded deeply into our communities. Matt, next slide, please. So our LIT program really brings in somebody that has some basic skills, which I'll talk about, and then we train you and prepare you to run one of our stores. Now, if your thought is, well, it's just a convenience store, I understand that, but we're not just a convenience store. To give you some perspective, our gas sites, side run upwards of $15 million annually, 15 to 20 million, depending upon the price of gas in total sales. And the leader has to supervise or lead 40 to 50 team members. So it's a large group of people. In New Jersey, we have what they call full-serve gasoline, one of only 2 states that offer that service, the other being Oregon. And then the inside. That leader runs both inside and outside of our units. So they're big stores for a convenience store. But the program is designed to combine a combination of on-the-job training in our stores with classroom-taught skills to prepare you for leadership positions. So we go through interviewing skills. We go through employment law, policies and procedures, both corporate and those tied to federal and state laws. We'll teach you how to read a P&L, profit and loss statement. We'll teach you how to troubleshoot some of our IT in-store equipment. And then we have a outdoor leadership course called Play to Win, which is a ropes course combined with classroom training, which is really the foundation course for our leadership training. We follow that with 3 more days of in-store or in-class training on leadership skills. Again, we teach listening skills, we teach communication skills, we teach how to assign tasks, how to have difficult or constructive conversations with people that might need a little bit of help, all framed by a coaching approach. So if somebody makes a mistake, we try to coach them to become more proficient. You're not out the door right away. In fact, some people say it's pretty hard to get fired from QuickChek because we try so hard to make sure people understand what's expected, have the conversations and coaching conversations so that they have every opportunity to succeed, including their training. So as you look at this slide, phase 1, you'll be in store for store operations training. It's OJT training on the job, and you'll go through a series of checklists that really teaches you how we run each of the various sections of the store, from food service, certainly the customer service, how we clean, how we order and pack out groceries, how do we stay in stock, how do we operate our coffee and cafe, which is the specialty drinks. And of course, the food service area is a huge department, the biggest in-store department in our company. Once you get the basics under your belt in phase 1, you'll be assigned to a store as an assistant store leader. Here you practice and demonstrate your ability to really run a store in the absence of a store leader. The assistant store leader is second in command. When the store leader is gone or on vacation or a day off, the assistant store leader is in charge of all the operations in that store. Trainees do a good job in phase 2. They're then moved into store assignment. They become ready. We call it a ready status. And they begin interviewing for phase 3, which is store assignment, store leader level 1 or 2. Now, not to jump around, but it's very possible, based on your ability and your desire, you could be interviewing for level 4 stores, which is all of our gas sites. So the opportunity to be on assistant store manager is wide open as we promote people up from assistant store leader. Again, you're still in the LIT program, to store leader. Next slide, Matt. A little bit more detail on the phases. In-store operations training, about 3 months. And there is a combination of some classroom and mostly in-store training. Your first day on the job will be an in-store classroom training program called the QuickChek Experience. Here we teach all of our new trainees, whether you're part-time or an LIT or somebody from our corporate office. We talk about our culture, what that means and how to behave and align with our culture in terms of your behaviors. And then we teach the customer service model, which in essence gives every team member the authority, responsibility to fix any service problem at the store level. It does not need to come to the corporate office. So we teach people how to do that. If you look to the right side of the slide, the next 3 months, the assistant store leader training phase, about 3 months, could be 4 months. You're in working with a good store leader. You're preparing for the store leader position, and you're attending QuickChek University. This is the in-class, goes about 10, 12 weeks, a day or two a week, and it could be every other week. So you're not pulled out of the stores for a whole week. And here we teach the courses I talked about before, whether it's the equal employment or employment law, interviewing and selecting, coaching, leadership skills, how to read and understand a P&L report. That's all in QuickChek University. Before I move on, any particular questions at this point, folks? Not yet. Good. Okay, Matt, you want to go to next slide? Phase 3 is as soon as a level 1 or a level 2 store is open and you're in a ready mode, you're going to be encouraged to apply for that store. We don't simply issue somebody a set of orders and say, go to report to the store. We actually post the store throughout the company. We post the location, and then we encourage our ready LITs and any other store manager, to be honest with you, to apply for that particular store. So the best of the best get selected to run that open store. So there's somewhat of a competition to run the stores. Here you begin to really apply your leadership skills and your technical skills in the operation of that store. And probably the biggest thing that we look for at QuickChek is how well do you fit the culture. You may hear in your travels the importance of cultural fit. I can't emphasize it enough. If you love what you do, you want to really find a place that you fit in, that your natural way of being is a good fit in that organization. Life is great when that happens. And we look for people who really love this kind of work. They like working with people, and they like servicing our customers. And for the most part, day after day, they always have good days. All right, phase 4. Again, here you'll be within a year. You'll have to run a level 4 QuickChek gasoline store. Coming into the LIT program, that's one of the expectations. You can grow through a level 1 or 2, but we're looking for people who can really eventually grow to a level 4. That's where the most compensation is, that's where the most bonus is, and that's where the most challenge is when you're supervising or leading 40 to 50 people. You have an inside of the store team and you have an outside of the store team. Outside could be 12 or 15 people, inside could be 30 people, 25 or 30. And there you have complete oversight of all the food service, the coffee, the front end, the customer service that goes throughout the store, all the inventory control, presentation, and cleanliness. All of that would be under your watch. And that would be, now, let me add, well, I think this is the last slide, Matt? I think so. But folks, let me tell you this. It's from our gas sites that we then promote to the DLIT, District Leader in Training Program. I'll just tell you that because the career growth at QuickChek, 75 to 80% of the promotions come from inside. And all of our DLs today ran stores, have grown up through the stores, and because of their performance or their level of performance and their interest in becoming a district leader, they're now district leaders, and they run 10 sites. And their total compensation is well over 6 figures in each of those positions. Well paid, but a lot of responsibility, And that's why I say it's not a matter of the pay. If you love responsibility, that's awesome, but you got to love what you do. And it's a little bit of controlled chaos in our stores sometimes because of how busy they are. It's a retail environment, but if you like that kind of action, it can be a lot of fun and a lot of reward too. Because if you haven't been into our stores, they're state of the art. They're some of the best in class in the industry. And if I sound biased, I am, but I've been in the industry my whole career, and I've seen a lot of other formats and store types, and ours are pretty cool. So that, in a nutshell, is really the QuickChek leadership. We call it the LIT program, and we're currently accepting applications. We're reviewing applications. I can make sure Matt has for you Matt, you have my contact information. You can just simply send me your resume, tell me you saw the presentation today, and I can get you in front of the right people to talk about next steps. And lastly, if you're in the New York, New Jersey market, and I think some of you folks have said that, I encourage you to, if you're not sure, stop by any of our stores and talk to the people there. Ask them what it's like to work for QuickChek or work at QuickChek. Ask them about the team here, and get a sense of whether or not this is something that you may be interested in. And if so, give me a call. If I can, Matt, I'll give the group on the phone here my phone number if you wanted to write this down, and that's 908-534-7358. I'll do that again. 908-534-7358. And it'll come right into my office.
Bob, I have 2 questions for you.
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
If you're ready. How often do you welcome LIT trainees? Is there actual time periods? Do you do it quarterly, that sort of thing? Or should they, can they contact you at any time? And my second question is, you list the approximate time frames to, for the different phases. How strict are those time frames? Do you have to complete a phase, like for instance, phase 3, do you have to complete it in approximately 6 months, or, can you complete it in 7? I realize it's beneficial to the worker to complete them in the timeframes, but how strict are you for those?
We're not terribly strict. Here's what we look for. We would like to see people progress through the phases. And sometimes if it's a 3-month time frame, if it goes 4 or 5 months and there's continuous progression, that's fine. And during that time, there's face-to-face conversations with the coaches. Team members of my department oversee the program. So we have a good sense of how people are moving through the program and when they're ready to be in the ready mode. The district leaders are also in touch with the LITs in their district, and they're pretty close to them because we're always asking them, how is LIT Bob doing? When is he or she being in the ready mode? That's important to us to see how long they progress. Now, that's not to say that somebody can't be ready to move from phase 1 to phase 2 in less than 3 months. We've had that happen. You're not held back either. Now, Matt, I'm sorry, repeat the first question. Quick.
Was how often do you welcome your LIT trainees?
Yeah, we could start one tomorrow. In other words, we don't have a class or a cycle. We literally bring them in throughout the year.
Okay.
And in our store group, for example, we may have a shift leader or an assistant who goes to their boss and says, I'd like to move into the LIT program. And they go, okay, if they get recommended, they can begin the process, within a week or so.
Okay.
What's that?
There's a question.
Does anybody else have questions for Bob or Heather?
There's one that came up here. It says, what if you have education in finance and experience in HR? Can you test out of some of the training phases and move on to the next phase? We really don't test out, but what will happen is, for example, your P&L class, you'll pick that up pretty quick. You're going to be able to show and demonstrate pretty quick how to read a profit and loss and any of the other financial statements that we have posted. We're very transparent at the store level in terms of store performance reports. So your finance background would be a huge benefit to you. And I'll tell you, the experience in HR, and this is coming from an HR guy, is equally valuable, because day in and day out, if you're running 40 people, supervising 40 people, you're wearing an HR hat. You got to know those people, the individual motivations and what's bothered them today and what motivates them today, what are their career goals, and how do you get them promoted from a team member to a shift leader. That's all HR. How do you train them, get them ready? How do you make the difficult call and say, look, you're not a fit to this store, and you got to have a separation or termination conversation? That's all HR. And you've got to comply with the variety of federal, state, local employment laws and the company policies and procedures. That's all HR. So that kind of experience is really an advantage that we would see on a resume, and it should be very helpful to you when you come into. They're very those skills are you can really translate those skills into our business nicely. Anything else?
Hey, Bob. Good afternoon. This is Roger Sorrell from the Plattsburgh, New York area. How you doing?
Hey, Roger. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you. I'm going to be doing the next block in communications, and I just wanted to say that your organization looks really, really fantastic. I think you did a great first time out of the chute briefing. Was exciting for me to listen to, and I appreciate your professionalism and the way you presented it. Matt, thanks for setting us up. I look forward to seeing a lot more and hearing a lot more from everyone over the period of time when we start growing this. Thanks again, though, Bob. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome. And if there's anything that we can do to answer anybody's questions, or just want to call me and chat on a one-on-one basis, happy to do that with any of the members of Hope for Warriors.
Plus, I've been sharing this information on our PACT Facebook group. So we continue to share information on that group. Please feel free to join it, and feel free to tell other veterans and service members to join it, because we will periodically share these modules and periodically share the information about, this is an ongoing program. So certainly this won't be the first time we invite either Roger or QuickChek. We will keep sharing posting their information throughout the year.
Thank you. Anything else, or are we getting close to close?
Going once, going twice. All right, everybody.
Folks, you guys have a great day.
Do you have a question or no? Or are you just saying goodbye?
Okay. Just saying goodbye.
All right, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Thank you very much for being here.
Thanks, Matt, and thanks for setting it up. Bye, Roger.